Good morning, YouTube. Hopefully you're all good and doing well, and welcome to a day in the life vlog. It's currently around about 9 a.m. on Saturday. I've got up, shaved the noggin as normal, brushed my teeth, and I also had a bit of a treat for breakfast this morning. I had 3 bits of bacon and some white bread, which I don't have very often, so that was a bit of a treat. And I'm going to take you through my day. So today is a little bit more of like a chilled out work day. Going to be going to the gym, going to take you through my whole day, and I will see you when I am back home. Oh, what's wrong? Right, see you later. So I am now back home. I've boxed about like 3k steps off straight away. With working from home, I like to do like steps first thing in the morning and also in the evening, sort of like in 2 different blocks. At the moment, I'm only aiming for around about 8k. But I find if I have to do all 8k or like 6k at the end of the day, it's just a little bit long. I'm now doing Duolingo. I've been seriously slacking on Duolingo, so I want to spend at least sort of like 20 minutes doing it now because my Spanish is not anywhere near where it needs to be. I'm just not really very in sync with it at the moment because I've really been slacking. I've only been doing like 1 lesson a day and that's not very useful. So I'm doing that, but today is like a little bit more of a chilled out work day. So in terms of sort of like essential things that I've got to get done, I've done most of that Monday through to Friday, and it's just a case of nothing's really going on today, sort of like in terms of plans. Not any F1, not really any football or anything like that. So it makes sense where I'm not really too busy. I may as well try and sort of like move forward to the best of my ability. So I've got 1 bit of work to do, which I will show you that's like essential that I need to do. I've got to message clients as per, but that's just sort of like standard. And then other than that, it's literally just going to be sort of like, what can I do to sort of move forward in my business? What can I do to sort of like learn a little bit more and stuff like that? So today is very much a case of like upskilling as much as possible, really. So I'll show you all of that, as well as obviously going to the gym and everything like that. But I will catch you after I've done a little bit of Duolingo, and I'll show you what work I'm actually going to be doing. Bonjour. It's about an hour and a half since I last left you somehow. It's just flown by. Did Duolingo, messaged clients. Now I need to do my next bit of work, which I'll show you very shortly. But I've also had to be very tactical with my food. So because today is leg day, it's a case that with legs in particular, I don't want to be sort of too full when I'm doing my session. So I'm planning on training at around about 12, so in about an hour and 10 minutes time. So I've gone and had my protein oats now. I'd normally have that first thing in the morning, but I had the bacon sandwich instead. So I'm having that now, giving it time to digest so that when I'm training, I don't feel too full or too sick, because with legs in particular, I would do. Now, having said all that, let me show you what I'm doing today. So this is my post for tomorrow. This is the first page of the post. I've had to put it into CapCut, but it looks like this. So it's just like a little video. It's going to be like part of a carousel. And then this is the next bit. So this is actually everything that like my clients have been saying recently. Just a few pages within here. It says like training reviews. So these are genuinely like best decision I've ever made in my fitness journey, or best decision I've made in my fitness journey. Feeling the best I have in a long time, and everything like that. So whilst I've made those posts, the post itself up, the main thing that I need to do now is the copy. So like the caption below it. So I basically need to think of something to talk about it and write that up. So I'll show you I'm show you myself doing that, like overlaid with here. But once I've done this, I'm just going to do a little bit more work, and then I will see you when I'm on my way to the gym. So most of the session is done now, and this is like my main compound movement that I'm focusing on. So this is the main thing that I want to progress. However, I prefer to do isolations before the compound. So I've already gone and done like 4 exercises already before doing this, just because I find like it helps to really warm like my knees and stuff like that. So that does impact strength and performance a little bit, but this is going to be my top set. So I'm aiming for 8 reps
Nice and controlled on the way down, trying to get my feet as low as possible to try and make it sort of like as quad as possible without my heels coming off. And let's go. It's really fucking hard. Whew. What a mess. Fucking hell. That was harder than I expected. When I was warming up through, that felt quite light. But because it's like my second week sort of getting used to things, that was fucking hard. Whew. I've got another set which is going to be a back off set, so I'll reduce the weight by 10 kilos and then try and fit 10 reps on that one at least. Same control and stuff like that. And then I've got adductor and abs, and then I'm done. Also, just in case you think I'm a pussy for only doing 40 kilos, this machine is incredibly heavy. I'm not sure why. I also try and have the foot plate thing as like almost as high as possible so that I can get like as much knee flexion as possible. I really like my quads, and I'm trying to get as deep as possible with each bit as well. So the performance of it makes it significantly harder. I could probably load more weight up and stuff like that, but try and perform it with good form. I'm extremely happy with the quality of that session. It was just so good, really worked hard. And I've also just been spending like the last 10 minutes sat in my car trying to recover instead of driving straight home. But now I'm going to go home, have a bit of post-workout nutrition, cook something up quick and get back to working. So I'll see you back at home. I am back home and I'm a bit of a slump post-legs. I've had my post-workout nutrition, which in this case was a bag of rice, 200 grams of chicken, 20 grams of chorizo and some peri sauce with plenty of salt to replace like electrolytes that I would have lost throughout sweating throughout my session, and also some broccoli as well just to keep veg in there. And I also had 50 grams of milk chocolate pillows with like 150 grams of milk or 150 milliliters of milk, just to try and get some like carbs and protein and everything like that in. Now post session you technically want to try and limit fat as much as possible because that sort of limits how much carbohydrate and protein intake slightly, but it's like unless you're like a top end bodybuilder or like an Olympic athlete, it's probably something that you don't need to worry about too much. And I like to have sort of like a big post-workout meal because I'm really starving, especially after a big leg session. But now this is what I'm going to be doing for the next hour or so. So it's actually, this is more sort of like a personal thing really for my sort of personal development, but it does help with coaching as well. And effectively it's sort of like, it's basically like I follow this life coach and he has like this low cost sort of program. This cost me like I think £29 a month and it's genuinely worth like every single penny. It really just helps me with like personally, I've always sort of like, I'm just gonna get fucking deep all of a sudden, but I always used to struggle with like identifying why I felt certain ways in terms of like my emotions. I wasn't very good at like regulating them or feel like understanding why I felt like I felt and stuff like that. And then also like back in the day I used to struggle with like my mental health a little bit as well, but this is just sort of like something that personally really helps me, and also really helps me with coaching as well, because there's a lot within here that actually carries over to coaching and helps me coach much more effectively, because I feel like if I'm sort of more settled myself, it then pays off with my clients and everything like that. So it's something that's really useful. So I'm going to be doing this, and then for the rest of the day it's just going to be a case of like sort of upskilling on things for the next couple of hours. So content and like knowledge within like sort of coaching, like physiology and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and I'll overlay some of that stuff whilst obviously I've been chatting here, but I will catch you whenever I catch you next, which I'm not 100% sure when that'll be. So for the last couple of hours I've been doing the things that I was mentioning. Right now the potatoes are in the microwave because I am having tuna jacket potatoes for dinner. My protein's pretty much like where it needs to be, so I don't really need to go too high protein. It's more just getting carbs in, so I think I might go to the shop later and get some crumpets and have that to end the day to get to around about 2.8k calories. But anyway, obviously since Valencia, I forgot to give an update with sort of like everything that's going on in regards to sort of what I'm doing now. So effectively for like this last sort of week and a half since I've been back, it's been a case that I've been sort of reverse dieting. So I basically increased my calories quite quickly towards sort of maintenance. Now, when I was not to make things too complicated, but when I was sort of losing weight, I was having around about 2.1k calories, and I was losing about a kilo a week. So that suggests I'm in a 1,000 calorie deficit each day. So roughly my maintenance is probably around about sort of like 3,000 to 3,100 calories. So I've gone just below that to around about sort of 2.8, 2.9k calories, and that's what I've been eating towards all of this week. And my weight has actually gone down 0.4 of a kilo since the start. So I'm just like comfortably 74.4 kilos now. Slightly up from before I went away, which is just inevitable because you're eating more food and everything like that. But in terms of sort of like everything else, I'm pretty much the same in terms of like conditioning and stuff like that. Now, leading forwards, obviously I'm just talking about this whilst my fucking potatoes are boiling away. But leading forwards, I'm not sure how many weeks it is. Right, let me ask Alexa. Alexa, how many weeks is it until the 19th of November? Fucking hell. It was really quiet, so I had to go. It's only 14 weeks until Erin and I are going to Thailand. Wow. So the plan is, after this week, I'm going to move calories basically to be in a surplus slightly. And for the next 14 weeks, I'm really focusing on gaining. And I'm going to focus on, I'm going to try and make a series out of it, like on Instagram, of almost trying to see like as much progress as possible in terms of like really pushing myself within my sets and like really trying to push myself and seeing how much progress I can possibly make with like really good nutrition, tracking everything and everything like that over those 14 weeks. Because when I am away, I'm going to be away for a month in Thailand, which obviously I'm going to vlog an awful lot for. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Why am I talking so quick right now? But that's going to be like a natural diet break anyway. So the plan is for the next 14 weeks, gain, short diet break, then I'll come back for Christmas, and then in the new year maybe continue gaining for a little bit before cutting down. I want to do a photo shoot next year, but I want to look like the best that I ever have. So this is all part of the process. You've got to commit to gaining, you've got to commit to losing weight as well. Like it's got to be like, you just got to commit to these phases, especially with muscle building. It does take a little bit of time. Like 14 weeks really isn't that much time, so I will want to continue gaining after that most likely. But that's enough of me waffling on. To be honest, all that I'm going to do for the rest of the day is I'm going to go for a walk and get some steps in. Then I'm going to come home and edit this video, and then I'm going to upload this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, subscribe, and leave a comment on any questions that you might have. And also in future, what I'm going to be doing again is going to be showing you like how I'm going to try and make as much progress as possible over the next sort of 14 weeks prior to going away. I can't believe it's 14 weeks. I'm excited. Hope you enjoyed. Adios. Hasta luego. Ooh, perfect timing.